Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. This is Invest in Yourself, and my name's Cameron. Today I wanted to make a quick video, and it's kind of late. I know definitely if you are Central or East Coast time, I'm on the Hawaii Pacific Standard Time, so I'm kind of making a video late. Y'all probably won't get it in the morning, but I really wanted to make a video on a position I plan to open on Beyond Meat, and just kind of share over what kind of went on in the market day for Beyond Meat's share price to plunge like it did, and then it plunged more than 25% in extended trading on Monday. And after the flagship name in the plant-based meat field reported third quarter results that badly miss Wall Street estimates. In this video, YouTube, we're going to cover three topics. First, looking at the third quarter numbers and what was more than what meets the eye with some of these the bad beat, and a related other thing when it came to a new product with McDonald's. And that's going to be the second top in the video today, is the news with McDonald's, kind of elaborate on that and the positive and negative it kind of came out of that. And the third, my favorite, pretty sure y'all's favorite, my future outlook and will I buy? And obviously I already let you know in the beginning of the video I plan to open a position, especially if I can still get this company anything under 125 when the market opens. But I just want to let you know, thank you again for coming to the channel, all the support and love, and I appreciate every last one of you giving all the feedback in the comments and the likes and subscribes. Thank you so much. Please take down in the comments, let me know what you think about Beyond Meat, your overall bull thesis, and let me know what you think about the video or any other recommendations. But again, we'll start into the first part, looking over the third quarter numbers. And looking at Beyond Meat, they reported a loss around 19.3 million, or around 31 cents a share. And looking at the year ago quarter, from third quarter year ago, they only lost 4.1 million, 6 cents a share. But we know, YouTube, that the whole environment was different from a year ago, so we're comparing apples and oranges at this point. But revenue improved just a little over 3% to just shy of 95 million from 92 million a year ago. And according to their CEO, just kind of giving what he said about the whole situation, is that their financial result reflected a quarter where, for the first time since the product began, we experienced the full brunt unpredictability of the Rona on their net revenues. So, in short, YouTube's just the shares in Beyond Meat lost more than a quarter basically lost more than a quarter of their value on Monday, after the company said consumers stuffed their freezers full of plant-based burgers during the lockdown earlier this year and dramatically slowed purchase since. So in short, they basically said, for those 2 quarters, when we going through the middle part of the year and beginning part of the year, people were buying and hoarding a lot of food. So that's why their numbers were increased, especially revenues and total sale numbers. And now they kind of, I wouldn't say things are returning to a normal, but things are kind of loosening up across the country, except for the Rona spike in it, because nothing's going to be normal. Everything from beginning of March has changed. But again, I think a lot of analysts and a lot of different people overshot with Beyond Meat and kind of got a little too ahead of themselves. But again, nothing negative against this company. This is a great company and overall, and that's why I'm going to open a position. But meanwhile, I want to kind of share, looking at sales at restaurants and fast food chains that carry its products were still not fully recovered, and the company said delivering a second blow, leaving their third quarter revenue sharply below. And looking at the losses for quarter were, again, 31 cents per share compared to predictions of just 5 cents in earnings. So consumers, YouTube, are currently buying in these lumps, like I said before, rather than returning to regular buying patterns. And meanwhile, looking at restaurants, we're showing signs of recovery, but with the Rona infection rate spiking in many countries, he declined to offer fourth quarter guidance. And I think they're not offering annual guidance either as well. So that's kind of like a shot in the gut, YouTube, especially when a company is not going to give next quarter guidance or end of the year guidance. That's a lot of speculation. The company doesn't know basically doesn't know what to forecast for to given its numbers, and that's a lot of uncertainty in the market where we saw today, and that's the reason some of the quarter of their market share went down just in the last 10 to 11 hour period. But again, just to give you an aspect, looking at the food service revenues, like within the U.S. and overseas, YouTube, just in the third quarter, it fell 11% in the U.S. and 65% overseas when it came to revenues and food service. And grocery store and other retail revenue jumped a little over 40% in the U.S. and 27% overseas. So just kind of break down those numbers. Everybody's kind of feeling this with the Roni and the pandemic in general. So it's not just condensed to Beyond Meat. It's a big miss, YouTube, with Beyond Meat. Shares were down 28% around 5 p.m. Eastern Time, but as Beyond Meat is often volatile around earnings, if I do have any Beyond Meat shareholders on the watching the video, y'all know this, and moving 20% up and down on average over the past 6 quarters reports. So obviously not as much, but this was a big miss. But again, people are used to having a lot of volatility when it comes to Beyond Meat, but I think this is a great opportunity to open a position. Now, covering up the McDonald's news. So, comments from fast food chain that will offer plant-based products crafted exclusively for McDonald's by McDonald's without mentioning. So, what happened today? McDonald's, when they were doing their earnings, they didn't say nothing about who was making the burger specifically for their plant meat burger. And what happened is the stock negatively affect, especially Beyond Meat, started going south because a lot of the market was anticipating Beyond Meat and McDonald's had an agreement, had a working relationship, which they do in Canada. They've been testing that field out, but when McDonald's didn't announce it was going to be a Beyond Meat burger, they just kind of said some type of generalized meat, and the market reacted, especially with Beyond Meat. But they later recovered after Beyond Meat clarified the two companies had co-created a plant-based patty, which be available part of the platform for McDonald's, and has the plant-based burger using Beyond Meat's patties in Canada early this year, but has not commented on the longer-term tie-up between Beyond Meat and McDonald's. A formal tie-up with McDonald's will add to Beyond Meat's list of partnerships with the fast food chains, which include Denny's, Del Taco, Dunkin', and looking in just China, Beyond Meat's products are offered through Starbucks outlets as well as trial in Yum China and select KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell outlets. It's a collaboration with McDonald's could give Beyond Meat a boost in this fiercely competitive landscape with the plant-based meat. So Beyond Meat's largest competitor, just kind of look on the opposite side, YouTube, Impossible Foods, has been expanding distribution. Meanwhile, Planterra Foods launched plant-based brand Ozo, and Prime Roots, which is a plant-based meat and seafood substitute, is now available at retailers including Amazon and Whole Foods. And obviously we know about the Very Good Food Company in Canada offering that's obviously a small market company and a startup company that's nowhere in comparison. Again, that's comparing apples and oranges. Very Good Food Company to Beyond Meat, but maybe one day they could get to the Beyond Meat level. So just giving you some of the large competitors against Beyond Meat and other aspects of positions that they opened with other companies, and just kind of give you my thoughts overall on the company in general. I believe one of the major concerns for Beyond Meat, if I had to look at anything like on the opposite side of the field, is the mounting competition from larger packed food peers from Impossible Foods, which recently made its debut in the retail channel after predominantly competing in food service space. And packaged food companies with competing products include Kellogg, Nestle, Tyson Foods, Congra Brands, and Hormel Foods. they recently, YouTube, retailers have introduced private label plant-based meat products like the Very Good Food Company. The competition is fierce out there, YouTube, and I believe this is just getting started, in my opinion. But again, I think, again, I'm bullish on Beyond Meat. I think they are the pinnacle of the plant-based meat company, and my future outlook on them, on Beyond Meat, and I'm going to open a position. Their urgency with, Beyond Meat has, unfurled news has intensified in the past several weeks. It announced multiple partnerships for, plant-based to grocery stores, to distributors and retailers, and that's with Beyond Meat. So they've been stepping their game up, and the maker of the plant-based meat continues to bet on, restaurants as a source of growth overall. And one of the things I like, YouTube, is the company, instead of cutting certain activities or R&D in reaction to, transitory macroeconomic conditions, they didn't do that. They will continue to invest in the future growth and in their capabilities with infrastructure and markets that support their global vision, to quote their CEO. So that's another thing I like about this company. We got a stud of a CEO that's pushing the business and investing in the business, putting money back into the business to grow this into the dominant player in the market, and putting some gap between these other like Impossible Meat. And I like how they're opening up and investing into China and Europe, in which these are other competitors are still trying to build a foot in the U.S. So there's a lot of these other different, plant-based foods are still trying to get a hold of the U.S. market. And Beyond Meat's kind of got a great foothold there. And now you're seeing Beyond Meat expand into emerging markets. And that's another reason why I'm bullish on this company. This pandemic brought expenses during a period of disruption to their top line, but I believe, YouTube, that they will deliver strong long-term gains and overall value in the long term. And at these prices, it's a great position to start or add already to an existing position with Beyond Meat. The company is going to go to continue to grow for the long term, YouTube, overall, and they will have some short-term volatility along the way. And I truly believe that the pandemic has a lot to do with the run-up in this company in the past 7 months when it comes to the high side. And some of the analyst numbers were a little too far ahead, beyond Meat's top line revenue numbers. And I think those 2 months during especially the peak phase of the first initial Rona, they based a lot of revenue numbers and per capita numbers on what people were going in the grocery store and buying. And so forecasters were perfect for the company. They had a high ceiling to meet, and it was a tough ceiling to meet, and they didn't. They fell way short, and that's why they're not going to give no fourth quarter guidance. So that's kind of a shot in the gut. But again, this company is the number one in the market. They're expanding in emerging markets. We have all these different signs showing you that this is the dominant company, and I like investing in the dominant company in that field. But the last 2 quarters were monstrous due to the fact that people were hoarding and stocking food, like I said. But as restaurants open back, YouTube, gradually, Beyond will continue to grow all over the world, and this company is still the top dog in the industry and will maintain that spot for a long while, I do believe, until there's something else new that is that's people like better than Beyond Meat. Because I have tried Beyond Meat, and I actually am a vegetarian, and I eat their product religiously. I just haven't had an opportunity to invest because they've been running a little rich. But again, I'm definitely looking to open a new position in this company. I just wanted to give y'all some transparency and give you a short little video, and I hope you like it. And thank you so much again for coming to and watching the video and invest in yourself. Please leave me some comments down below and let me know what you think about Beyond Meat and some of this price action we saw after hours. Again, thank you so much, and always remember to invest in yourself. Bye-bye.